Hello and welcome to this webinar with Darren Jacklin today. And it's a pleasure to introduce Darren because for 2 years ago I started to talk with him to get him over to Norway. And when I started to talk with him, he was coaching me for a period. And I think this guy is the most energetic speaker I ever talked with. And I really like his energy and his positive attitude and everything around it. So it's a pleasure to have him on this webinar today, and even more I'm more pleasure about is that he's coming over to Norway in just 1 week time to be one of the speaker on Elevate Summit, and the first one, and he's going to kick some asses to get the best year ever. Isn't that true, Darren?
Yes, I'm really excited coming over to Oslo here next week. I'm going to be flying over from Vancouver, Canada, and Peter, thank you to you and your team for investing 2 years of lots of conversations back and forth and being open-minded to a guy like me on the other side of the planet, helping to coach and mentor you to level up your life and your game and make a difference for you and your family. So thanks so much for being open, and we're going to have a phenomenal time to kickstart 2015 and make a huge difference in many people's lives and help them, give them the tools, the techniques, and the skills to create the quality life that they desire, they want their life for them and their families.
Yeah, I think this will be crazy cool. I also think we should do this webinar a little bit different than we normally do, more like an interview, so I can start with some question, and after a while I hope that everyone on this webinar will write some question in the chat box, so you can get exactly answered what you really are looking for today. Darren, the first thing I want to ask you is that you have a quote saying, "Success is a series of well-managed failures." Where did you think you got up that?
Well, it's interesting. I coined that phrase, "Success is a series of well-managed failures," a number of years ago. For those of your audience that's watching right now or listening to this archived and have done some due diligence or research on my background, I'll just kind of give you the condensed version of research or due diligence. I'm in my early 40s now, and the first half of my life was a lot of disaster. I made a ton of mistakes. I was up and down a lot in business and my personal and professional life. And, I coined that phrase, "Success is a series of well-managed failures," because really, if we want to become more successful in 2015 and 2016, we've got to fail forward and fail faster and fail more often. We've got to make more telephone calls, talk to more people, share more about our products and our services and our opportunities. And the thing is to understand is that success is a series of well-managed failures, which means that failure is just feedback. And, early on in my days when I was out there talking to people and connecting with people in a job or a career, or when I became an entrepreneur, it wasn't easy. I didn't have the skill set. I didn't have the mindset. I didn't have the mental toughness. I didn't have the focus. I didn't have the daily method of operation in terms of habits and daily habits of success that I train people all over the world now. I was one of these guys who was unsuccessful for a number of years, and because I didn't have the tools and the techniques and the proper role models and the structuring in place in my life. So when I say success is a series of well-managed failures, what it means is every day you're going to get hugged and slugged out there. If you're in business or you're in sales or you're at a job where you're out there competing in the marketplace, whether locally or nationally or globally today via the internet, you're going to get hugged and slugged. You're going to be kissed and kicked. You're going to have support and challenge. You're going to have praise and recognition. You're going to have people who love your product or your service or your opportunity, and people who criticize you for your opportunity and service. In North America, there's a website called Yelp.com, YELP.com, and people write reviews on restaurants and hotels and movies and retail stores, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want people to write that about me." So people internalize it to their mindset that failure or a negative experience or an experience is negative. But really, what are you going to do about it? The thing is that it's not what happens to our lives, it's what we choose to do about it. The first part of my life, I grew up with very low self-esteem. I was very insecure as a kid. I barely passed through public school. School was not easy for me academically. And, I was set back in grade 1. I failed grade 1. I was put on the drug called Ritalin when I was a young child for a couple of years for attention development disorder. And the thing was, I was a kid who was a dreamer in school. I was a kid who had goals and dreams. I didn't know what that meant at the time, at a young age. But school wasn't my thing, and it is for some people. And so when I went through school, when I got to high school, I had very low self-esteem. I was socially awkward. I wasn't the most popular kid in class. And when I left high school, public high school, I did multiple suicide attempts to end my life because I felt invisible. And I don't know if some of your people listening and watching this ever felt invisible, ever felt that they weren't good enough. But I was one of these kids growing up that I didn't feel good enough, I didn't feel worthy enough, I didn't feel smart enough, I felt socially awkward at times, I didn't fit in. And so, you know, early teens, late teens, you know, I did suicide attempts. And then at about 21, 22 years of age was a big turning point in my life. I was involved in a major car crash that almost ended my life. And that really, you know, sometimes you gotta be shaken up to waking up. And that was a shake up to a wake up experience for me. And then I received some insurance money from an insurance claim. And then what happened was I got involved in a business without doing any research, any due diligence. And 120 business days later, the bank called to demand loans. And I went from there to living on the streets, homeless, living on government welfare, and for a few months. And then I had to hit rock bottom, my rock bottom, to a point where I said, you know what, enough is enough. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. I've got to make these changes. I've got to be proactive. I've got to hustle. And that was a big turning point in my life. So, you know, and I've made tons of mistakes in my life, and I'm going to share a lot of experiences, but what I've learned from those life lessons, but also when I love people, because I was one of these kids that was most likely not to succeed. So I love meeting people and making a difference and sharing from my experiences how I've turned my life around to get the specific and measurable results that I want in my life now.
Thank you. I have been following you on Facebook and been talking with you the last 2 years, and I've seen that you're in Africa, and then you're in the Middle East, and then you're in Asia, and then you're in North America, and you have told me that you have been traveling 200 days for the last 20 years. Why? Why are you doing this?
You know, it's interesting. We call it the self-help industry, and I've been a person who helps a lot of people, but in a selfish way, it's a selfish way of self-help, is to really understand myself is a big thing, and then also when you know better, you do better, and you want to pay it forward and pass it on and make a difference. And when I look back on my life and realize that part of my insecurities in my life was not being good enough. So I use it to my advantage today through a leverage strategy, my own, in terms of not being good enough. But I travel over 200 days a calendar year worldwide. I'm in many, many countries a year, you know, conferences, conventions, corporate training events. I speak at a number of events worldwide in major cities all over the planet, and plus I do a lot of media globally as well. You know, why do I do it? For myself personally, human potential. I'm always on this search of excellence, to always strive to become a better person, personally, professionally. I want to be better than I was yesterday. You know, every day I have a self-discipline where I read 10 pages a day of a good book that elevates my life personally and professionally. And I teach this strategy in my events. If you just read 10 pages a day times 365 days in a calendar year, that's 3,650 pages, which equates to 12 to 15 books a year cover to cover in 1 year. So pick a subject. It could be health and fitness, finance, nutrition, relationships, spirituality, career, business, sales, marketing, negotiation, on and on and on. Pick a subject that you want to study in 2015 or 2016. Go to the public library, get on the internet, go to a bookstore. If you don't like reading books, then get books that you can download. Watch videos. You know, have somebody read you a book. And so I travel to really now is to make a difference. You know, I'm committed now by the year 2025 to impact more than 1 billion people on planet Earth. I was just in Uganda, East Africa, been there a few times already this calendar year. And, you know, when you go there and you experience extreme poverty, where people have no electricity, no running water, some of them are eating grasshoppers and crickets and insects to survive. And when you see that and you experience that and you taste the crickets and the grasshoppers, which I have a few times on occasion, it changes your mindset. And then you come back to whether you're in Oslo, Norway, or Denmark, or Iceland, or you're here in North America, or some other place on the planet, you think, gosh, you know, I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream because my life is difficult compared to what? So what excites me about traveling is when I'm sitting beside someone on an airplane, or, you know, I'm coming to Oslo here next week. I've never been to Oslo, Norway yet. And what excites me is 6, 12, 18 months from now, the case studies. the phone calls, the emails, the thank you cards of people saying, wow, you've allowed me to have more quality time with my children. You've allowed me to buy back time so I can do my hobbies. I can focus on my purpose, my passion. I can live my life by design of what I want. Now, here's the thing you're going to understand when I come over there. You can't have everything you want in life. You can't have it all. That's a bunch of kumbaya. It's a bunch of fluff. There's benefits and drawbacks to everything you do in life. Okay? There's rewards and there's consequences. And I'm going to share with you, I'm going to cut through all the fluff and all the hype and all the kumbaya and give you practical, step-by-step things that work, because success leaves clues. And so what I'm out to do now and why I travel over 200 days a year also is a part of it is to correct an injustice, to get rid of all the woo-woo and the kumbaya stuff where people are out there selling stuff and giving stuff that's putting people down the wrong path, that's false hope. And when people understand that success is really quite easy, but doing it consistently over long periods of time can be hard. Does that make sense? Because it gets boring. There's distractions. There's shiny objects. Your family and your friends will challenge you. And so that's the key thing, is why I travel so much around the world, is to give and to make a difference. But the more I help and the more I serve and contribute to people's lives, the more I get enriched with my life as well, and I grow and develop to my human potential and learn what's possible. You know, I'm 42 years of age now. I've been doing this almost 20 years in over 40-plus countries on 4 continents, and I realize now, just in the last 6 months, that I have not even begun what I'm about to do in the next 10 years. I think the last almost 20 years of my career has just been kindergarten for me to now what I'm going to do in the next 10 years of my life between my 40s and my 50s. It's going to be incredible, and I'm excited to come to Oslo and make a difference and contribute to people's lives.
Thank you. I also seen all of your Facebook quotes, and you had a quote for some time back where you say success is simply but not easy. What do you mean with that? Another thing, for everyone who are listening, please write questions in the chat box so he can answer what you want from this webinar today. But again, you say success is simple but not easy. What do you mean with that, Darren?
It's easy to do and it's easy not to do. And the thing is, it's our habits drive our behavior. Our habits drive our behavior. And the key thing is how we change our life is how we change the waking hours of our day. From the time that we wake up in the morning until the time that we go to bed at night, what do we do during the waking hours of our day? And when I go into training seminars and I'm at conferences and conventions worldwide, one of the things I like to do with people is I say, good, do you have a mobile phone? Do you have a tablet? Do you have a laptop right now here? Are you connected to Wi-Fi internet? Great. Open up your calendar and show me your next 7 days of your life. And people are like, what do you mean? I said, well, your calendar drives your business. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're self-employed, or you're a commissioned salesperson, you're in business, your next 7 days is going to drive your income. Your next 7 days is going to determine the quality of life and the amount of free time you have with your family, the people you love and care about most. It's going to determine how you allocate the time for your hobbies and your interests in your life, personally and professionally. So what I mean by that is that when we understand that we change our life through the waking hours of our day through what we do. Now, understand this. For most people, they're an extra in their own movie. Something to mentally digest there. Most people are an extra in their own movie. Most people are watching their life, saying, someday I'll do this. But here's the thing. You know, I'm a guy, my father was an engineer. So part of me has a very methodical, left-brain, logical mindset that I have to know step by step by step by step what to do. If I don't know the step by step by step process, I won't execute. I won't take action. And so that's one of the things why I'm very practical with people, and I show them systems and strategies that they can do. And so when you wake up in the morning, you know, what do you do? And I'm going to show you and expose to you what successful people do during the day and also what unsuccessful people do during the day. And you're going to be taking notes, and we're doing experiential exercises. We're going to be having collaboration and discussions about it. So you get a perspective from different people in the room, from different people, from different walks of life. And so we understand that in our lives, that our lives are determined by what we do during the waking hours of our day, change our lives. Here's the thing. Little things that you consistently do make big results in your life, personally and professionally. But it's how you set up your day through your daily method of operation, your DMO. Right? If you bought a McDonald's restaurant franchise and put a few $1 million into a McDonald's restaurant franchise, you're going to have a policies and procedures manual. You're going to have a franchisee agreement of when you turn the lights on, when you turn the lights off, when you mop the floors, all that stuff. It's step by step by step. But you see, most people don't run their lives that way. For most people, they're living life like a dress rehearsal. And that's why most people are an extra in their own movie. And so I'm going to show you a specific and measurable and actual game plan of how you structure your life. Now, if you're not somebody, if you're a big picture person, you don't like routine, you don't like systems and structures, great. I'll show you how to do that. If you're somebody who's very structured step by step by step and you want to get things right and you're a perfectionist, I'll show you how to do that. Whatever it is, I'll show you how to win so you win for your life. But also, what's very, very important for those of you watching this, and listen to this, if you have children, your children are always watching and observing you. Never assume that you're not being observed. So I'm going to show you how to live an inspired life that your kids and people around you are going to model your behavior and your actions so you set them up to win as well over a period of time throughout their life.
Thank you. And what is the biggest difference between success and failure? Or what do you think is the one thing that you should take with to get success in front of failure?
For sure, good point. Well, the key thing is failure is just feedback, right? Key thing is number one, you can write that down. Failure is feedback. And so it's not what happens to you in your life, it's what you choose to do about it. Is it a crisis or is it an opportunity? Right? Crisis or opportunity. It's your mindset, mental toughness. And for a lot of people around the world, and I travel over 200 days a year, so I see this in different countries, on different continents all the time. And I love travel, it's a huge passion for me, is that for most people, they don't take time to really get to know thyself. They don't. We call self-help or professional development or career development, but do they actually spend time? Every day I spend 15 to 20 minutes, it's non-negotiable, in my journal, in a private conversation. And I'm going to share more in detail, because we don't have time on this webinar to go through it, but I'm going to share more in detail of why I have a private conversation with myself. And I'm going to share with you, when I first started, how uncomfortable having a private conversation with myself was. I didn't want to. I didn't want to talk to myself because I didn't want to confront myself on things that I wasn't proud of or happy about in my life. But when I learned some strategies and some techniques on how to have a conversation with myself, changed my world, changed my life, changed my relationships with people around me. And I'm forever grateful with that. And so the thing is in our lives is we have to understand that we're going to have peaks and valleys. We're going to have setbacks, and we're going to have disappointments, and we're going to have failures and adversities and challenges. That's all part of the life journey. But when you understand that when you have a setback or you have a drawback, or you have an adversity or a challenge, or you're having a financial problem, or a relationship challenge, or a business challenge, or you're unemployed, or something happens, your best client or customer leaves, when you have some tools and tips and techniques and so to work with that, when that challenge or that drawback or disappointment happens, you don't react to it because you know that there's benefits and there's drawbacks to it. And there's support and there's challenge, right? I have lots of raving fans around the world, and I have critics around the world. I have some people who don't like me, right? Never met the people. But do I react to it? No, it's part of the game. If you go to a professional sporting event, the referee is going to get booed and cheered. It's just part of the game. And so when you understand it and you get the right training and mindset development, your world changes, and you're not reactive to things. It's just part of the journey.
Thank you. We got a question here. How do you know and plan what to do every day and over a long time, and on the same time be happy with it?
Great question. What you do is you live according to your hierarchy of values, or what's most important to you in your life. So for example, if you're a mother and you value your children, you have 1 or 2 or 3 or more children, your day, your week, how you earn a living, if you earn a living outside the home, for example, everything you do will be structured around your family, around your children's schedule. So maybe at your home on your refrigerator, you'll have the weekly plan of your children's activities, if they're going to school, if they're involved in a dance class or something at the school. So the key thing is number one is we look at, what is your purpose in life? What is your passion? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? And I go through all this stuff in very specific detail, and we show you how to work with all this stuff so you understand that you're living your life according to your value system and what you guys, I can't. I get people email me all the time, and I get a lot of parents, and I get a lot of spouses and partners and bosses and CEOs email me and say, hey, I've got this challenging employee, or I've got this troubled spouse or partner, I've got this challenging child of mine that's in college, university, or in high school, and they I need them to set goals. I want you to help them set goals. And I'm like, I appreciate that, but I can't do that. They're like, what do you mean? I said, because unless you've got some skin in the game, unless you buy into your own goals and dreams, nothing externally is going to motivate you or inspire you to take action and do that. Give an example. You'll have some people watching right now that are in a relationship, and because we're in December and we're going through the holiday time right now, I'm actually at my family's place right now, and it's early in the morning here and everybody's still sleeping, but I'm an early riser. So you've got people right now that are in a relationship and they're saying, give them the nudge, you got to go to the gym, you got to work out, you got to lose some weight, release some weight. Now, your spouse or partner might go to a yoga class or might go to a fitness center or a gym because he or she wants to do that because that's part of their value system. That's part of their driver of what they want to do. But you're like, I don't want to go to a gym. I'm not going to go to a fitness center. It doesn't even resonate with me, So the thing is, eat less and walk more. And so the thing is, you're only going to motivate yourself or inspire yourself to go to the gym if it's something that you want to do, right? And that's the thing. I was with somebody the other day, and they were saying to me, they said, well, I'm unemployed, and I can't find a job. And I said, well, your job right now is looking for a job. So you're in transition right now, but your job right now is looking for a job. And they go, what do you mean? I said, it's your mindset. Your job right now, you have a job. Your job is looking for a job. Your job is calling on employers, going on the internet, going on LinkedIn.com, looking at Monster.com, going on different websites, calling friends, going through your Rolodex of your mobile phone, calling people that are your low-hanging fruit, making requests to them, right? And I'll show people in the event how you make requests, because for every question that you don't ask, the answer is no. And I'll show you how to receive things complimentary in your life. Doesn't matter where you travel in the world. I do this worldwide. I'll show you how to start receiving things complimentary in your life that will blow you away just by making a request.
Thank you. I know it's 7 in the morning where we are now, and when I talk to 2 in the night, 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, whatever time, you have the same energy. Where do you get all this energy from?
Great question. I'm driven by purpose and passion to make a difference in my life and make a difference in the world. Where do I get the energy from? And when you spend time together, when I'm in Oslo next week, people will understand where the energy comes from. It comes through focus, and it comes through. I'll give you an example. So this is my journal, and I buy a number of these things, and I travel all over the world with this. I write out my goals. Right? I have 20 goals, personal professional goals, 20 goals that I write out every morning and every night, a minimum of 730 times a calendar year. And I write them out. It's non-negotiable. And I accelerate and achieve goals. I achieve probably more goals a month than people do in 2 to 5 years, without exaggeration. And the thing is, I have certain systems that I do because I've modeled and spent time with some of the most successful and influential people on planet Earth that are alive today, men and women around the world. Okay? And what I've learned is that when you do things that you love to do, it generates energy. It makes a difference. And so the thing is that I'll show you why I write out the goals, and I'll show you the purpose behind it, your professional goals, whatever area of your life, and how it generates energy. I sleep sometimes 5-6 hours a night. That's all I need. And sometimes, over the last couple of weeks, I've been, chilling a little bit, stuff like that, taking some downtime, reflective time. So I'll sleep 7 or 8 hours. But the majority of the time, 5-6 hours, that's all I need because I love what I do. Also, it comes back to exercise and diet. Eat less, walk more, exercise more, move your body, be active. But I'll show you things on how you do things that you love to do and how you delegate things that you don't want to do. So here's the thing to understand, Peter, and I hope you're okay with this. I am committed to disrupting some people's lives in Oslo, Norway. I'm committed to disrupting their lives in a way to show them what's not working for them and actually irritating some people so they actually realize that what they're doing is not going to get them to where they're going to get to. And if they're open-minded and coachable like you and I met 2 years ago, and when I first met, I tell you what you need to hear versus what you want to hear. Because I've been through, chances are, if you've made a mistake, if you've failed, I've probably done it or know somebody who's done it and overcome it. Okay? And the thing is that, so I have a very high BS meter, right? And BS is belief system. Okay, so I have a very high detector when people want to make excuses and tell stories and play the role of the victim, oh, poor me. That doesn't work. Listen, life is not fair. Life is not fair. Life is not always easy, right? We're going to have challenging times. You're going to have a family that calls you and says they have cancer. Things like that are going to happen. Life's not always fair, but it's what you choose to do about it. And when you have the proper tools and the proper mindset, you're unstoppable, and you have incredible amounts of energy. You know, we'll talk about when I'm in Oslo next week in regards to life balance. That's a bunch of BS. People who have an average job can have life balance. If you're somebody who wants to play a big game in your life, you have no life balance. I'm around some of the most successful people in professional sports worldwide, successful people that are in Hollywood, successful people that are in business, finance, you name it. You name a category industry, I've met them. Space astronauts, Nobel Peace Prize winners, Olympic athletes, I can go on and on and on. And the people who play at the highest levels do not have any life balance. Whatever area they're really good at, there's an area of your life that they're out of balance. Some people that are in Oslo, some of the most influential people that are in Oslo, that are successful people, in the public eye or in the media, you see them as iconic, successful. Behind the scenes, there's some areas of life that are disastrous. And I'll share with you in my own life, where in my personal life, where parts of my life are a disaster. I'm totally authentic with people because I'm one of these guys. I'm not a guru. I'm just someone who's made a lot of mistakes, been through adversities, been through challenges. I've overcome it. I've picked myself back up again. But I've learned some tools. I've learned some techniques. I've learned some strategies. I've learned some systems along the way that have now worked where they are today. You know, people see me and they say, "Oh my gosh, you're so successful at what you do." Well, that's part of it, but you don't see where I come from and what I've been through. And I'll show you what I do in a day. And when I deal with distractions and I deal with interruptions and I deal with challenges and adversities, I'll show you how I break through those to get to where I want to go in my life. Because the bigger the game you play, the more challenges you're going to have and the more opportunities you're going to have. It's just, you know, that's how it is. And so when you realize it's part of the journey, the life journey, you don't react to it. It's just part of the game of life. That's how you win in the game of business.
Thank you. You also, I think I was listening to you one time, you talk about our behavior becomes our habits. Can you expand what you mean by that?
For sure. So when you wake up in the morning, for example, and you know that you should go work out at a fitness center or gym, or you know that you should maybe have a green smoothie or drink water, or you should exercise, or you know that you should read 10 pages a day or you should do something, then the thing is, our habits, you know, determine our behavior. The thing is most people are unconscious to what they're thinking about throughout the day. Okay, research has shown in different books and different things you can research on the internet that we have about 60,000 thoughts a day, and the majority of those thoughts are habitual thoughts we thought of yesterday. Okay, so the key thing is our habits drive our behaviors. Is that when you understand, and when I'm with people, I show them, you know, how to deal with the negative self-talk. How do you deal with the mind chatter? You know, some people call it the drunk monkey, right? How you deal with this constant nattering, this chattering, this dialogue going on in your head. We all have it. Every person on planet Earth has it. Okay? But there's ways that you can consciously be awake and aware of how to deal with it. And then once you're aware of it, you know how you and I like to train people also on how your brain works. And really it's quite simple, but here's to understand. There's people in the professional development industry that want to make it complicated and use jargon because they want to sell you something. They want to hook you. They want you to be they want you to follow them as the guru. It's all a bunch of crap. When you understand that success is simple, you understand how this stuff works, and you're mindful of it, and you're aware of it, and you understand when it comes into your brain, you understand that, you know, when you wake up, you're going to have benefits and drawbacks throughout the day. You understand how things work. You understand both sides of benefits and drawbacks. And so really it's quite simple, but the mass media, Hollywood, in the United States of America, and some people have made it very complicated because they want to confuse you. They want to sell more advertising on television. You know, mass media, news channels, you know, their job is to create uncertainty in your life so that you sit on that sofa or that couch and watch more television so you can watch more commercials so they can sell you more stuff on commercials so it pays for their revenue for the news channel. It's the whole job is to create uncertainty for you, to keep you in a state of fear. And we're going to talk about, and I'm going to walk you through an exercise in the training on what fear is. And you'll never, ever look at fear ever the same way again because you'll understand what you've been told is a bunch of fluff, and what you're going to learn what fear really is and you'll understand it's 100% accurate. And you're like, wow, why didn't anybody tell me that? Because they don't want you to know the truth. You've been lied to, because when you know the truth, then you're not consuming. And so when you understand that you have this powerful self inside you, that you have the chance to make every choice every day, it changes your life. And so, am I popular in corporations and companies? Absolutely. Do some advertisers hate me? Absolutely. Why? Because I show people what really works and what doesn't work, and I get people to wake up and be conscious of it. So sometimes you got to shake people up to wake people up. I call it shake up to wake up, and that's what happens. So that's why I say I'm committed to disrupting some people's lives, because when you understand that you're present and you're conscious and you're awake and aware, and when you understand the human potential inside yourself, you're unstoppable. You can live life on your own terms because you're in control of what you want to do in your life to a degree. And it's amazing what you can do in your life. It's the choices that we make every day of our life during the waking hours of our day.
Thank you. We got one question from Tonelisa here. What is your biggest passion?
My biggest passion, great question. My biggest passion now is to make a difference in the world. Coming to Oslo, Norway, for example, make a difference in people's lives. It's to me, it's a great thing because, it's funny because when I grew up as a kid, I didn't like education. I was not a good reader in school. I was not a good kid at doing my homework. I was not a kid who, took any accelerated programs through school. I didn't like all that stuff. It was boring to me. In fact, I was a kid who was very bored throughout school, throughout my life. I was a daydreamer. And so my passion now and my purpose is to make a global difference in the world. I guess I'd say I'm very blessed in my life now with deep levels of gratitude that I've figured some things out from some years of experience and life lessons and life experiences, and now I feel that it's service to me and to make a difference in other people's lives. I think it's very important that people learn from my life lessons, my life experiences, my setbacks, my failures, my adversities, my tragedies, my challenges. And I think when people understand that, when I do training in your room next week, I've probably failed more than anybody in the room. But I've got up more times and kept on going. And that's why I'm successful today. Because success is a series of well-managed failures. So what I'm passionate about is making a difference. Me coming to Oslo, I'm like a kid going to Disneyland. I am so excited. And for those of you who've been watching me on social media, you've seen I've been posting about coming to Oslo. That's what it's about, is making a difference. And for myself personally, is reaching more of my human potential.
Thank you again. I saw you have you said something, your life is the way you want it to be. If not, what are you doing about it? That's kind of a bold statement. Can you expand that?
Well, your life is exactly where you want it to be. If not, you would change it. You obviously associate more pleasure than pain to what's really going on. Otherwise, you would change. Whether it comes to your job or your career, your relationship, whether you're single, married, separated, divorced, you want to earn more income, you want to have a different job, a different career, you want to have more clients, more customers. The thing is, when you realize it's your fault, right? It's your fault. I always say people, no one's a jerk till you show up. And people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you told me that. But when you really look at and take personal accountability, personal responsibility for your life and your results, yeah, things happen. Yeah, things get crazy out there in the world. Yeah, things that we can't control. Yeah, like a 9/11 in North America, and different world events and world tragedies. But you know what? It's not what happens to our life. It's what we choose to do about it. And so when you realize that every day you wake up, you reset the clock in your life, and you have a chance today to do. See, the thing is, when you decide and make a decision, when you say, today I'm going to start walking around the block, today I'm going to start eating an apple a day, today I'm going to start drinking more water, today I'm going to start to read a book, today I'm going to start to take a course, get a mentor, get a coach, join a mastermind group. Today I'm going to, I'm going to give away a whole bunch of clothes that are in my closet that I've been saving till I release the weight, because when I was married and I was in that beautiful, sexy wedding dress, I was slim and attractive. And now I've gained weight because I have a couple children, but I'm going to get back there. You know what? Go through your closet and get rid of all the clothes. Give it to Goodwill. Give it to a church. Give it to an organization, a non-profit organization, and get rid of all those clothes and create all that new space in your closet or your cupboards. So guess what? You can make room for more stuff. One of the things I train people on is every year is to take all the negative people that are in your mobile phone and delete them. People that are toxic in your life, delete them. People say, oh my gosh, why would you do that? Because then you make room for people who want to come into your life and contribute to your life in a positive way. Why not surround yourself around people who help you live an inspired life, right? So again, I'm going to share some things with people. They're going to, be direct and bold, but also shake people up, to wake people up to realize you have a chance to live life the way you want to. Is it going to be easy at all times? No. Is success easy? Yes, it's easy, but it's going to require focus and discipline and levels of action and activity over a period of time. And there's ways you can leverage yourself through different strategy systems I can share with you, all that kind of stuff. But when you understand that really success is simple, right? It's applying it consistently over a period of time. That's all it is. And when you understand this, and you realize that, man, people have done all these things, and they're like, yeah, what's the payoff? What's the intention? Why are people telling you this stuff? Because they want you to keep consuming. They want you to keep doing this. So when you understand all this fluff and all this hype and all this kumbaya stuff, and you get really simple. My background's been a corporate trainer. When I go and train corporations, they want one thing: results. That's all they care about. They don't care about where I went to school, what my background was. One thing is they want is results. They pay for results. And I'm a results guy. That's it. When you're coming to an event to get results in your life, you want more free time with your children, you want to earn more money, you want a better quality of life, you want more free time, you want to do the hobbies you want to do, whatever it is, according to your value system. You want results, right? And so that's what it is. It's all about, this program is about delivering, helping you get the right information so you can leave to win for you and your family, or you and your life, personally or professionally, so you get the results that you want. Because in life, it's reasons or results. That's it. It's reasons or results.
Thank you. To this listener who are today, can you give them some tips on how they can overcome fear or negative self-talk?
Sure, great. So let's understand what fear is. So F-E-A-R, and I'll expand more in deeper detail next week when I'm there, but here's what fear is. So I always ask people, what is fear? And people say, well, it's the unknown. And people say, fear is, false evidence appearing real, which is an acronym, okay? Here's what fear really is, F-E-A-R. Fear is anticipation of pain. Fear is anticipation of pain. Bottom line, that's what it is. Fear is anticipation of pain. It's anticipated pain. That's what fear is. So here's a question for you. Is it past, present, or future? Is fear past, present, or future? It's future. So where does fear live? And that really screws people up in the audiences. What do you mean, where does it live? Well, our thoughts create our feelings create our actions, and our actions create our results. Our thoughts and our feelings are internal, our actions and our results are external in our life. So we become mindful and conscious, awake and aware of what our thoughts and our feelings are. It changes our action, which then changes our results. Our actions drive our behaviors. And so the thing is fear is just anticipation of pain. And so you associate more drawbacks than benefits to doing something. And so when I share with people in more detail and walk you through a bunch of exercises where you actually experience this in your bodies, in your heart, in your mind, it changes your game, changes your life, because you understand that fear is just anticipation of pain. Worry is negative thinking about future possibilities, is what it is. So worry is negative thinking about future possibilities. And I think we just lost you, Peter. So as Peter comes back on in just a few moments, there he is.
Yeah.
We'll see you again.
I have one more question. What do you do when fear takes you? Because it's a little bit scary, isn't it?
Sure. The key thing is you use it as a motivator for yourself. It's either baggage or fuel. Fear is either baggage or it's fuel. It's a choice. It's a choice. Fear is either baggage or fuel. It's a choice. It's baggage or fuel. And so the thing is I'll show you, as part of what I do in the training, is when you understand whatever you want, whatever goal or dream or target you want to achieve in your life, whether you want to be in a relationship, you want to start dating, you want to have a family, we all have fears, doubts, worries, insecurities, all that kind of stuff. But when you understand what drives the human behavior and how things work between the two ears in a very simple, understandable way, not a complicated way. You don't need a PhD or an MBA to understand this stuff. It's very simple. I go in to work with kids in schools to give back around the world. I was just in Africa in a bunch of villages. where people don't have any education. They've never been to a school. They've never read a textbook. They've never been on the internet. They don't even have a computer. They don't have electricity or running water. And they understand this stuff. It's not complicated. It's simple, but when you understand it in a very simple way. I mean, I was this kid who barely passed public school. I've done very well in my life now, but I was one of these kids that was labeled most likely not to ever succeed. So I'm a very simple, practical person. So I don't get complicated with people. I show you basic, simple stuff that you understand, that you can apply, that can get you the results that you want in life. You can win for yourself and your family and the people that you love and care about. So you'll understand that fear is just anticipation of pain, worry is just negative thinking about future possibilities, and you understand all this stuff. And it's not a bunch of woo-woo kind of stuff, right? It's practical stuff that works, that gets results. That's it. And you'll see it. Well, some of you, when you spend time with me, you'll learn more in 1 or 2 days than you will in 10 years of your lifetime. Because we just cut through all the fluff. You get right to the stuff. I give you the steak, not the sizzle. Lots of people buy the sizzle in life. You want the steak, not the sizzle. Right? This isn't my first rodeo. I've done this a few times.
Thank you. You said earlier that your goals and action have to be aligned with your values. Mm-hmm. I find that really interesting. That may be the reason that many people doesn't reach their goals. So can you explain that a little bit better?
Sure.
Or can you give some advices on how you can reach your goals easier?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the key thing. So let's look at statistics. Let's look at numbers, okay? So we know statistically, based on research, and they've done this at universities and colleges throughout the world. They've done, case studies on people and stuff like that, and various different MBA students and PhD students around the world at leading universities and colleges have done studies on this. That we know if we take 100 people, that 95 of 100 people will never set a written goal. It's been proven, unless somebody in school or college, university has them write out something. But we know statistically that 95% of people out of 100 will never write down a specific and measurable goal or a dream that they want in their life, right? So one of the key things is, what is it you really, really, really want in your life? And I cover that in the training. So that's number one, is that what do you really want in your life? So we look at that. We know that 95 or 100% of the people never write or set a goal, okay? Now, of the 5%, that actually write down a specific goal for their life, personally or professionally, 5%, okay? They'll do it around New Year's, around Christmas time, around the holiday season, this time of year right now. Okay, people get say, oh, I want to change my life, and I want to lose weight in 2015, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. That's great. And by end of January, first part of February, most people's goals and dreams are done, game over. And I'll show you why. And so the key thing is to understand is, number one is if you really want to achieve a goal, then I'll show you how to achieve it. You gotta understand that and I'm giving you some information right now, but when I work with people, I give you, you're going to be doing exercise in the training. I'm going to have you writing things down, doing stuff, so that you get it, and so that you believe it because you're doing it, because talk is cheap. So to understand, number one is that writing your goals down. But here's the thing. Your goals that you set are not always going to be the goals that manifest or that come to fruition. They might be different, they might be better, they might be, you understand that it's like an airplane. I'll give you an example. When I leave Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and fly on Air Canada here in just a few days to fly over to Oslo, that when that airplane takes off and we fly from Vancouver, I think I'm going to London Heathrow in London, England, when I fly off, we're off course over 90% of the time. Now, they don't tell you that because it freaks out the passengers, but I'm a frequent flyer. I'm a road warrior, right? And I've been in the cockpit a few times, so I know how it works. But we're off course over 90% of the time. Yeah, we have air traffic control. Yeah, we have autopilot. Yeah, we have a GPS system in the aircraft. But the thing is to understand is that when you set a goal or a target, you're going to be off course for a period of time. But I'm going to show you how to course correct it to always keep moving you forward so you get the target. But it's not a straight linear line. And so that's where people get confused when it comes to setting goals, that this is the way it should be. It should be this way. No, it's not going to be that way. And so you understand it, it's going to give you some freedom in your life to not be so stressed out and think, okay, I can trust the process. I can just be open to allow this to happen. Okay? And so the thing is, you understand that you set goals and targets, but here's the key thing. Most of the people who are watching this show right now, watch this event, you're trying to achieve a goal or a dream, whether it's personal or professional, by yourself. I'm going to show you how to bring in leverage by getting other people part of a dream team in your life, personally or professionally. And you can be a socially awkward person like me, grew up as a kid who didn't have many friends, and I can show you. So I can show you how to do this. I can show you to manifest a goal or dream that you want. If you're willing to tell me what you really, really, really want in your life, I'll show you how to get it. Okay, I used to do events called idea party events. We haven't done them for a few years, but we did them throughout North America. And I would take people at random, and I would just, we'd have hundreds or a few thousand people in an audience, and I would just say, okay, we need some volunteers. And people at random would just come up out of the audience. These people were not planted, they're not paid. I've never met these people before. It's not rehearsed, it's not scripted. This is totally impromptu. These people would come out of the audience. I'd bring them up on stage, and I would work with them for a short period of time, coach and mentor them on stage, use flip charts, and I'd write down what they really want, get very specific what they want, and then I would work with the audience with a series of questions and techniques and strategies, and in a very short period of time help that person achieve that goal or be at least on track for that goal to hit that target. And some people would leave. Before they left that event, they would have results, measurable results, and they're blown away, right? Because there's ways you can do things through the power of numbers, of leveraging. And if we, and we have the time, I'll actually play some games with you and actually show you how to do that, and we'll have some fun with it, and it will blow your mind away. People are like, oh my gosh, this is freaking me out. This is wild. But here's the thing: when you start to do it, it will transform your life. You will have the best year ever. Some of you watching this will do more in 2015 after I train you than you've done the last 5 or 10 years of your life of productivity, and you're not going to be more stressed out. You're going to have the life that you want because you've got the tools and the training on how to do it and make it happen and get it done.
Thank you again. It's quite big promising, but I like it.
Well, I've been doing this almost 20 years, and I've worked with over 150 Fortune 100 companies. I've worked with 10 billionaires. I've worked with a number of different professional athletes and some of the most successful people in the world. And I have people flying on private jets to meet with me. So when you're spending $3,000 an hour on a private jet on fuel to come in and meet with me for a few hours and to hire me and some of that, obviously I'm doing something. These people wouldn't fly across, spend 8 hours in a private jet, $3,000 an hour to come and see me, plus pay my consulting fee to meet with me. So obviously they're getting a return on their investment.
Yeah, I know that. I have one more question here from Hanne Kirsti. She's asking, how do you stick to your plan? It's so easy to slip out.
Great question. I have an accountability partner. So every Friday I have an accountability partner. We've been accountability partners now for 2 years. Last year in 2013, we only missed 3 days in the whole year, but we made it up with other dates and times on the calendar. But I have an accountability partner, and so I have somebody who's going to tell me what I need to hear versus what I want to hear. I also have 2 paid coaches that I actually hire. I'm in a 3-year program with one of my coaches, and I'm on year 2 now. And I have another coach that I pay. It's just a monthly retainer fee that I pay him. And we get on Skype or Google Hangouts every month, and I go through what's working and what's not working and do a progress report and let him know where I'm at, and he gives me feedback. He is a coach that plays at a higher level than me, and so I'm always leveling up my life. So I'm not going to somebody who's just giving me a bunch of regurgitated information or somebody who's got an academic degree who knows stuff intellectually. I've got somebody who's actually done it and been down. So they're like a guide to me, like a tour guide, or like, they've been down the road before and they've achieved the results that I want to achieve, and therefore I spend time with them and I invest and put some skin in the game. So that's how I stay accountable on my plan. Is I've got people around me that hold me accountable. And don't use your spouse or partner or boyfriend or girlfriend. It's just going to create some relationship challenges and some tension. Use somebody who's neutral, who's not emotionally attached to you, who doesn't care what story excuse you're going to give them. They just want you to win. They're going to hold you accountable to get results. I do it with some people. People hire me to work with them, and I tell them up front, listen, I'm not going to be the nice guy. You're not going to like me at times. You're going to want to slug me. But when we get you to the finish line with your goals and dreams, you're going to want to hug me. Because I'm going to tell you what you need to hear versus what you want to hear. I'm not going to be your friend. Okay? I'm going to hold your feet to the fire to get it done and make it happen. Because I'm committed to your results, not committed to your stories or your excuses. That's what we're committed to. So get somebody around you. Here's the thing. For some of you watching this right now, you want to get a result right away. So here's something you can do. For some of you right now that have a health and fitness goal, okay? In the next 24 hours, if you want to get in better shape, I want you to look at, in your Rolodex, in your Facebook friends, who do you know right now that goes to a fitness center, who's got a fitness membership, who goes there minimum 5 days a week. It's non-negotiable. They don't care if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's bad weather, good weather, hot or cold. They go to the gym 5 days a week. Doesn't matter what's going on. It's non-negotiable. Call that person up and says, you know what? I want to go to the gym with you. Because this person's going regardless of what your story excuse is. You know, or walk into a fitness center and say, look, you know what? I suck at self-discipline. I'm overweight. I'm fat. You know, here's the key thing. If you're overweight, the key thing is stop doing things that make you overweight. Does that make sense? That's the key thing to look at. You stop doing things that make you overweight. And so I'm going to show you things that give you, that shift your mindset to help you empower your life. And when you understand this stuff, it's not hard. It's just a different mindset. When you understand a different mindset, it changes your life. It also changes your results.
Thank you. I look so forward to have you over here next week. So you are flying from Canada just to come over here to speak for 2-3 hours next
Correct.
week.
Correct.
So can you please share a little bit what you will talking about when you are over here next Tuesday?
Sure. So I'm going to be sharing a thing with you called winning in business, or winning the game of business. And whether you have a business, or you're an employee, or at a job, or you're in transition, you're unemployed right now, or maybe you're a college or university or high school student, or maybe you're somebody who's retired and you want to supplement your income through the internet or some way through a hobby or a passion or interest. What you want to do is understand that there's certain things that successful people do in a day, and there's certain things that unsuccessful people do in a day. The difference is the outcomes of the results throughout the day. So I'm going to show you in a very practical, experiential, hands-on way. I'll be doing a lot of talking from the stage and walking around inside the audiences, but I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. I'm going to get you to really think and engage your mindset. I'm going to ask you to be involved with some different exercises where you're going to maybe have to talk. Not right away, but after I learn to work with you. But the thing is, it's not going to be like university or college or a high school or public school class. We're going to sit there and just learn a bunch of regurgitated information. I'm going to share with you things that I've done, and by the way, the things I train you on, I live in my life. It's not something I rehearsed or some kind of canned presentation. What I train you on is what I live, because in the business world, talk is cheap. It's reasons or results. So we're going to show you, number one, how to get what you really, really want in your life. I don't care whatever it is, personally or professionally. Once you understand, there's certain systems, there's strategies to help you. I'm going to show you how you help create the life that you want, but you're also going to understand it comes with opportunities. There's also consequences. There's benefits and there's drawbacks. You know, and so, you know, somebody says to me, well, you know, I want to spend more quality time with my kids. Great. I'll show you how to do that. But I'm going to show you the benefits to spending more quality time with your children, and I'm also going to show you the drawbacks to spending more quality time with your children. Somebody says, I want a promotion. I want to become a supervisor. I want to become a president of the country. You know, I want to become top salesperson for my real estate company, or I'm a mortgage broker. I sell insurance. Great. I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to show you the benefits. I'm going to show you the drawbacks. Then I'm going to show you how you plan your life out throughout the week, and I'm going to show you what you focus on, but also what to be aware of that's going to happen in terms of challenges, problems, chaos, tragedy, all that kind of stuff. You're like, well, why would you tell me that? Because when it happens, you're non-reactive and responsive to it, because it's part of the journey. It's part of the game. Right? You know, today I'm going to screw up with something later today. Something's going to happen. Right? You know, I just got to know. You know, my sister, I'm here at my family's place. Can you just talk a little quieter? Everybody's still sleeping in the house. Right? It's a drawback. Right? You know what I mean? But I'm not reactive to it. Does that make sense? Because I'm very passionate what I'm doing. So understand that whatever you do, there's going to be benefits and drawbacks. You're going to get slugged, right? And there's going to be some people who are skeptical watching this saying, oh, yeah, that's all too good to be true. When you're skeptical, it means that you've had an experience from the past that says, I don't trust this anymore, right? Or you've been led down some path, or you've watched some program, or somebody's had influence in your life. That's all. I love skeptical people, because I was skeptical for a good part of my life, because I was on the wrong path, going down the wrong direction in life. So I questioned everything, and I still do to some degree when I go to events like that, because I want to see somebody who can get results and show me what to do. I don't want the kumbaya. I don't want the rah fluff stuff. I want stuff that I can use that gets me results. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun, and I'm going to it'll be entertaining to some of you. For some of you, it will be It will be very aha moments. And for some of you, it's something that you've been looking for all your life but didn't know where it was. And for some of you, just to be upfront with you, you're not going to learn anything new from me. In fact, I'm going to have you unlearn stuff that you've learned. Because so the time you spend with me is not learning new information. It's actually unpacking and unlearning all the stuff you've been doing so that we can then, the next time I meet with you, that you'll start to learn. So the first several hours I spend with you is just you unlearning stuff, all the crap that you've put into your brain over the years that doesn't work for you. So we'll be unpacking and unlearning all that stuff so we can get rid of it. It's like cleaning the junk in your closet or in your garage. Get rid of all that stuff and giving you a mental cleanse so that we can put new stuff in that helps you get the right stuff so you can win the next 12 to 24 months and onwards in your life. So everybody, you know, whether we have a few hundred or a few thousand people in the room, everybody's going to be having a different experience in the room. Everybody's there for their own agenda, their own reason of why they're there. But I'll promise you this, it will be a life-changing experience for you. I've done this, you know, in over 40-plus countries on 4 continents. I've trained over 150 of the largest companies on planet Earth. I've worked with a lot of top president CEOs. I've worked with royal families. I've worked with presidents of countries. I've worked with a lot of celebrities, a lot of successful people. I've worked with people that are in jails, in prisons, that are up for murder. I've worked with people that are in remote villages in Africa. You know, I'm going to Africa again in a few months. You know, I've worked with people from all walks of life, you know, that you can imagine. So, you know, people bring their stories and their excuses and yeah, but this and what about that? We just get through all that stuff and get to what you really want in your life for you. So you win for you. My agenda is to help you win for you. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun, and it's gonna be a transformation in people's lives because you know, I love doing this. And I was this kid who was not supposed to get anywhere. You know, I was a kid that, you know, did multiple suicide attempts to end my life. I was a kid who's had a lot of adversities, a lot of challenges in my life. I was told by many people that I would never go far, never amount to much, never do much in my life. You know, I was one of these people who wanted to end my life. I had no direction. I had no focus. I had no future that I thought. I was one of these people that you know, I look back and reflect on my life and think, wow, you know, nothing's ever in your way, it's only on your way. But I didn't believe that 20 years ago. You know, I would never have guessed I'm at where I am right now in my life. If 20 years ago you would have told me where I could be in terms of human potential, I would have thought you're crazy. I would have thought you're smoking something or doing some kind of illegal drugs or something like that, because I would never have believed it. Because people believe, sometimes there's people that believe more in you than you believe in yourself. And I think one thing that sets me apart from a lot of people is I believe more in people than they believe in themselves, because I've been down the road. I've been financially stressed in my life. I've been upside down a few times. I've been homeless on the streets. I lived on government welfare. You know, I've been in jobs and careers they were dead end. I've worked with the boss that, you know, I didn't want to be at, and the companies I didn't want to be at. I've been in relationships that were toxic. You know, I've been in a lot of situations. You know, I've been in life and death situations in my life on the road traveling, and so it just makes you a stronger, better person. But we're all here for something, whatever that is for you, whatever your purpose, your passion is, and we'll get a chance to explore that if you're open-minded to it. And if you're willing to, here's something I'd like to share with people that are watching, those of you who are coming. I just have one request, and this is what I ask, is that you just give up being right. Just give up being right. So if I'm going to work with you for a day or a couple days, just give up being right and having things done your way. Just be open-minded, but just give up. I don't want to fight for your limitations. I don't want to argue with you for your limitations. I just want you to be open-minded and not be right about things all the time. And just be open-minded and say, okay, here's somebody coming from Canada, from the other side of the world, right, who's got some ideas, who's got some things that seem to be working. He's done this. It's not his first rodeo. He's done this around the world with a lot of people in many different countries, all different backgrounds, all different walks of life. Maybe success leaves clues. Maybe this guy's doing something that's working that I can learn and apply in my own life to help me move forward, to win for my family, myself, to get what I want in my life, personally and professionally. And so that's what we're going to learn. You know, I can give you all the jargon, what's in the promotional marketing stuff, but really, I'm there to help serve people and make a difference and help you win and get what you really want in your life. I wouldn't be flying, you know, from Canada to Oslo, Norway, if I wasn't serious and committed. I'm more committed. You know, I'm going to fly. I'll fly from Canada to Oslo and some people won't drive an hour to where we're going to be meeting.
Thank you, Darren. And we look so forward to get to have you over here on Elevate Summit. And Darren is one of the speakers on Elevate Summit. We also have 2-3 other speakers. One is Sverre Goldenheim, who has been the biggest party fixer in Norway for many years, and he's still that, but he gave up alcohol and changed his life totally last year. And he will talk about what make him do it, and he's also amazing networker because he knows people all around the world. So he will talk about that. And then we have Kari Jakkesson, who is one of the most famous fitness experts in Norway. So she will also help you. So we are called this day Kickstart 2015. And for everyone on the webinar, we always have a special price, which is just for tonight. So if you can see on the side now, I think you can see the offer. Normally one ticket is 1,200 Norwegian, and tonight you will get one ticket for 1,000 kroner, and if you want to buy 2 tickets, you will get 2 tickets for 1,625 kroner. And it's next Tuesday from 3 o'clock in the evening to 9, so it's like 6 hours full of program, and Darren will speak for at least 2 hours, maybe up to 3 hours, and we look forward to have you there, and I wish you all a happy new year, and hope to see you there. And just use the link you see there now and register, and if you have some questions, just write me an email or something. And thank you for spending your time in the morning, Darren, and it was really useful, and I get a lot out of it, and I also think all the attendees was really happy for that. So thank you again.
Thank you very much for making a difference in people's lives.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Looking forward to seeing everybody next week.
I look forward also. Thank you.
Thank you.